Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you guys my Cyberse Yugioh deck profile for July 2018 post starter deck codebreaker. Wanted to bring you guys an update to the Cyberse deck with the release of the latest starter deck. We got a good amount of Cyberse support in the starter deck, including Transcode Talker, which is one of the 6 code talkers that is released so far that we know of. And we also had some other cool effect monster support for the deck as well. And I wanted to give you guys a deck profile before Cybernetic Horizon because that deck's going to be kind of focused on the ritual variant of the Cyberse deck, which is a very fun deck as well, but I know some of you might just want to keep it the Feck monster version. So to have both versions out and available to you, and I know that I'll having both of the deck profiles released in short periods of time between one another. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. And so to start off with the main deck, I run 2 Drag Connect. Run Drag Connect in the Cyberse deck ever since it came out. It just is so good to set up your plays with. When it's normal summoned, you can special summon 1 level 2 or lower normal monster from your hand or deck in defense. So you run plenty of normal Cyberse monsters to make use of Drag Connect. I did drop it down to 2 in this version of the deck profile, mostly because you have other options now with your normal Cyberse monsters if you do open up with them. So it's not as reliant anymore since you have other cards as well, including your Prompt Thorn to work with the normal monsters as well. So you have answers to get them out faster, but Drag Connect is still good just for that +1 when you summon it to help get your plays started. And then for the normal monsters, I run 2 Proton. What's good about Proton is the fact that it is a level 1 as well. So you have a Link Karibo play as well as a Link Spider play, or just, you know, you can get it off of the Drag Connect and go for a Link summon that requires 2 Cyberse monsters. You have all those options available to you when you run this card. And I just run 1 Digitron to have the numbers kind of balance out with Prompt Thorn, because most of the time you'll tribute the level 4 and then you'll have the options for all these normal monsters available to you to summon out with that card. And I also run 3 Balancer Lord. With this card, once per turn you can pay 1,000 life points. During your main phase this turn, you can normal summon 1 Cyberse monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. If this card is banished, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand. You can only use the effect of Balancer Lord once per turn. It's just really good because it helps with your normal summon push. 1,000 life points is definitely worth it just to get plenty of Cyberse monsters out on the field to use for your plays. And a definite 3 of, because he just helps with those plays, and the banish effect that you can get off of some of your spell cards like Sign at Backdoor definitely do help with the deck as well. And also 3 Backup Secretary. She's remained staple in the Cyberse deck ever since, you know, it first came out. She's just such an easy summon. All you need to do is have a Cyberse monster. You can special summon her from your hand once per turn. Too good not to run at 3. Like I said, always available to you when you need to like remake your plays as well. And I also run 2 of the new Widget Kid. Now, I debated between running 3 of this card for the longest time while making the deck, but I like 2 just because it doesn't really get any benefits off of consecutive normal summon with this card. But if this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon 1 Cyberse monster from your hand and defense. You can only use the effect of Widget Kid once per turn. So basing on how you get this card summoned, and since it's a once per turn as well, it does help to extend some plays from the hand when you're just trying to fill up your board with Cyberse monsters. But definite good card in the deck, probably one of the best main deck ones we got from the Codebreaker starter deck to help with the Cyberse cards in total. Just like I said, it builds so many plays to work off of. And some of the low numbers in the Cyberse deck can be based off the fact that, you know, you can search out a lot of them. So if you need to grab something, you can just search it and then use it. You don't really have to rely on the 3 of numbers to grab it with this deck. But we were speaking of this card earlier, 2 Prompt Thorn as well. You can tribute 1 level 4 or lower Cyberse monster, special summon any number of Cyberse normal monsters from your deck and or graveyard whose total level equal the tribute monster's level on the field. Banish them during the end phase. You can only use the effect of Prompt Thorn once per turn. Now, I like this to work with the vanilla monsters, like I said before. Basically, you tribute the level 4 or lower and special summon any number. So if you tribute a level 4, you're granted access to all of your normal Cyberse monsters. And also, just remember, I love that it says graveyard and or deck. So you have options if you've already used them with cards like Drag Connect as well. So it definitely is a very helpful card for sure. And I also run 2, Boot Staggered. With this card, when a Cyberse monster is normal summoned to your field, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only use this effect of Boot Staggered once per turn. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon 1 Stag token. It's a Cyberse Earth level 1, 0. But this card just is very easy to summon out, so all you have to do is normal summon a Cyberse monster and you can get this special summon off. I only run 2 though. If you run 3, I found most of the time you would open up too many of these, and plus you can only use it once per turn, so opening up multiples isn't really the best scenario to happen, but the token effect definitely does help as well. And also 2, Link Infra Flyers. You can special summon this card from your hand to a zone Link monster points to. You can only use special summon Infra Flyer once per turn this way, but when you get your Link monster started, just a great extender as well to basically get your bigger Link monsters out to the field once per turn once again. But most of the time, if you open up the other one, you can just easily wait a turn to get out, an even bigger Link monster, or if you need another Link play to go off of. Just having your arrows available definitely makes this card helpful. And 2, Link Streamer. With this card, when a Cyberse monster is normal or special summoned to your field while this monster is on the field, except during the damage step, you can special summon 1 data token, and you can only use the effect of Streamer once per turn. It just helps to, like I said, with plenty of the other cards in the deck, extend your plays, because you're all about just, keeping consistent monsters on the field to have plenty of them to use for your Link summons, which is the main basis of the Cyberse deck in total. So if you can get out plenty of tokens, whether they be, and you can make use of them for some smaller Link summons, then use those ones that are summoned out to the field to get out the bigger Link monsters that require effect monsters like Transcode Talker, and then just use Transcode Talker's own effect. You can get out even bigger Link monsters, and Field Swarm, which is what I think the main thing of this deck is, just to get that extra Link zone taken care of. So we just need those plays to go with, basically. And then for the one-ofs in the deck, I run 1 Ram Claudia and 1 Ram Clouder. With Ram Clouder, you can tribute 1 monster to target 1 Cyberse monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use this effect of Ram Clouder once per turn, but it says a Cyberse monster in your graveyard, so you can even get Link monsters from the graveyard with this card. So very helpful. You can go from a 1 effect monster to a Link 3, wherever it be, and then use that for some other plays. And with Ram Claudia, when this card is normal summon, you can target 1 Cyberse monster in your graveyard, except Ram Claudia, add it to your hand, and if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Cyberse monster from your deck, except Ram Claudia. Now, I only run one of the Ram Clouder and the Ram Claudia because they are helpful, but you also can search them off of cards like Sign-Up Backdoor, so you're open to them to help out with your plays. Ram Claudia especially, it helps because you can search out basically Backup Secretary and then special summon it off of the ad, so because since you control the Cyberse monster, so another good way to just go for some Link 2 options as well. And I only run 1 of the new Cyberse White Hat. Been testing it out, but if you control 2 or more monsters, you can special summon this card to the field from your hand. You can only special summon Cyberse White Hat once per turn this way, and if this card is sent to the graveyard as a Link monster material, you can make all monsters your opponent control lose 1,000 attack until the end of this turn. I like the card because of the easy special summon, but you can only use the special summon once per turn this way, so you're kind of limited to having multiple of them out, but the 1,000 attack definitely does help too when you're going big board against your opponent, and you just want options to get over their bigger cards. But an easy special summon, once again, just like Boot Staggered, but it doesn't really contribute too much to additional summons. I might bump it up to 2 if I were. I might take out either one of the Infra Flyers or even one of the Link Streamers, debating on that. Depends on what you want to take out specifically for this card. But basically that definitely does help when deciding how many of those you want to run. And also 1 Bit Trooper, easy special summon just by sending a level 2 or lower from your hand to the graveyard to special summon this card. So you have options if you're just one-off for monsters on the field to go for the summon you want. And also I run 1 Degrade Buster, kind of like the Envoy at the beginning for the deck. It just helps because you have plenty of Cyberse monsters in the graveyard because you have to summon this card. By banishing 2 Cyberse in your graveyard, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls with higher attack than this card, banish it until the end phase, and you can only use this effect once per turn. The one of, just because it is kind of difficult to summon, you can't summon it off any other effects besides its own for the first special summon. But once you do, it definitely does help because getting those monsters out of the way, even if it's just for one turn, means you can swing hard to your opponent with your field once you set it up. And him being 2500 attack, being the biggest effect monster we have in the deck, definitely do help for some of your bigger plays. And also I run one Stack Reviver, good for the special summons off the link when you use it. Just one though, because it's a once per duel monster effect. And also one Dotscaper, same basic logics as Stack Reviver. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card. If this card is banished, you can special summon this card. You can only use one Dotscaper effect per turn and only once per that turn. You can only use each effect once per duel. But like I said, very helpful when you get off the banish and send effects for sure. And that's it for the monsters in the deck. We'll move on to the spells. I run 3 Sign at Backdoor. Ever since this card came out, it's been a definite 3 of in the deck. It's a quick play spell card. You target one Cyberse monster you control, banish it, and if you do, add one Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand, whose attack is lower than the monster's original attack. And during your next standby phase, return that monster banished by this effect to its field, and it can attack directly this turn. You can only activate one Sign at Backdoor per turn, but it's a quick play spell card, meaning you can set it and then kind of bait your opponent out when they go for your cards. And the add effect is just an extra bonus, honestly. But if you banish a high enough Cyberse monster and attack directly, a lot of times for me it was a finisher for sure when I was going against my opponent. And also I run 2 Sign at Recovery. If a link monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can target one monster in your graveyard except a link monster, special summon it in defense, and you can only use this effect of Sign at Recovery once per turn. Now the biggest thing with this deck is your investment in your link summons, but with Sign at Recovery you honestly can make up for a lot of your different played investments with this card if your opponent can get over them, just by getting resources back to the field, and depending on what you summon out can definitely help if you can get off their abilities as well. And also I run one-time passcode. That just additional push is basically the same logic as me running Bit Trooper, just that one extra monster that can definitely help out. And also one security block protection when you're going for your big Cyberse monsters for sure. And Soul Charge, just because the only thing you really use your life points for in the deck are your Balancer Lords, but being able to get more monsters to the field with this card will definitely help a lot of your plays. And then for the traps, I run 2 Sign at Regression. This is more of the offensive trap that I wanted for the Cyberse deck. If you special summon a link monster, you target one card on the field, destroy it, then draw one card. You can only activate 1 Sign at Regression per turn, but the pop and draw definitely does help, just so you can stay ahead of your opponent, getting rid of any of their plays, but staying on the draw. And all you need to do is, special summon a link monster, which is very easy with this deck. And I also run 1 Cyberse Beacon, easy specials again, searching for what you want in the deck, and 1 Recoded Alive. Now you're getting plenty more code talkers, so the more we get, I might bump this card and take out Cyberse Beacon. Just want to see how more this card works. Plus it has a banish effect to target one of your banished code talkers and special summon it. So you have just more and more plays with this card for sure, especially from the graveyard as well. And that is it for the main deck. We'll move on to the extra. I run 2 Transcode Talker. The new card in the deck, while this card is co-linked, it and its co-linked monster gain 500 attack. Also, your opponent cannot target any of them with card effects. And you can target one link 3 or lower Cyberse link monster in your graveyard except Transcode Talker. Special summon it to a zone this card points to. You cannot special summon monsters this turn you activate this except for Cyberse monsters. You can only use the effect of Transcode once per turn. But being able to get back your code talkers that you use maybe for another link summon and get it co-linked with this card is a very powerful play that the decode talkers and all the other encode, xcode definitely needed. So transcode is a definite major help for the deck. And also I run 1 decode talker, 1 xcode talker, and 1 encode talker. When we get power code and shooting code, we just have more and more options to use with these cards. 1 Pentastag from the new star deck as well. The piercing damage for sure helps whenever it is pointing to one of those monsters for the piercing damage. And 1 Proxy Dragon, 1 Underclock Taker, 1 Space Insulator, and 1 Link Karibo. Easy lower link monsters for sure. Same with Link Spider. And then for your bigger plays, I run 1 Vector Scare Archfiend, 1 Topologic Bomber Dragon, 1 Trigate Wizard, and 1 Firewall Dragon. You can even swap out the Topologic if you want Boral Load, but it is a Cyberse monster, so I feel it works a little more consistently with the extra deck in this deck. But yeah, that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, I'm very excited to bring you guys these deck updates. Plus, with Cybernetic Horizon right around the corner, we'll be bringing you guys an update to the version of this deck with the ritual monsters, so definitely look forward to it. Once again, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and until next time, Kira Twig out.